My mom said she'd be gone for just a week and asked me to watch over my siblings. But it turns out she left to live her own best life without us, and she's never coming back. My mom went out 2 days before Christmas, and then texted me 12 hours later saying she would be gone for a week, and that I should take care of the kids. She hasn't come back since, almost 9 weeks now. I've heard from her 3 times in total, and she said she isn't coming back anytime soon. She just keeps sending money. My siblings are 16, 13, 12, 9, and 7. I'm 19. I'm managing to look after the kids by myself, and to be honest, not much has changed because I did most of it when my mom was here anyway. We live with our grandma, but she doesn't really help with them either, and my older siblings moved out a long time ago. I guess my question is my mom being gone a serious legal issue or something that would involve social services? I don't want to risk the kids going into care. Been there, done that when I was younger, so I haven't told anyone that she's gone. I'm scared of what might happen if people find out, so I don't even want to ask this question in real life. Update 8 days later. I spoke to my mom on the phone and told her I want her to give me custody of the kids since she is refusing to come back or say when she will be back, and I'm done with her BS. We argued for about an hour, but in the end, she said she would do it after I told her I was going to call the police on her. Before speaking to her, I spoke to a lawyer, and I should be able to get legal guardianship through a parenting order, which will go through court. My 22-year-old brother said he will move home and help me on the condition that my mom doesn't move back, as he refuses to be around her. His income and input will help a lot, and he seems serious about wanting to be involved with parenting and taking care of the kids, especially our little brother, who badly needs a male role model. If we can't get custody, then my grandma should be able to. Either way, my mom is very unlikely to keep custody unless she suddenly decides she cares. I would bet my life she will never give a flying crap. Getting legal custody is the outcome I want, so I'm relieved it seems like a real possibility now. I'm trying to do a total overhaul of everything with the kids, because I think they need a lot more structure, discipline, rules, and routine than they've had until now. I've realized I don't really know much about good parenting, so I have a lot to learn. Maybe I'll get some books. Until now, our house has been more like a house share, with everyone doing what they want and running around feral, rather than anyone really guiding the kids. I grew up even more feral, and I don't think it's a good way to be raised. So I'm starting a bath and bedtime routine for the youngest two and a curfew for the teenagers. Right now, the 12-year-old goes off on his skateboard and just shows up again at like 10:00 p.m. on a school night. I've also been giving them much better food than they usually have, and it's been rough getting them to eat healthily, but we've made so much progress already. Any advice on instilling rules would be welcome, as I don't think it will be easy, and I've never had any kind of actual parental role model in my life. Second update, 2 weeks later. Hi, I'm not sure if doing multiple updates is okay, but I've had a lot of messages since the last post, and I think it will be easier to update everyone interested this way, as replying to all is really hard. Thanks to the advice here, we've realized that pursuing kinship care is a better choice for us financially than legal guardianship. This wasn't mentioned to us by the lawyer or social services, so I'm so grateful to everyone here. With kinship care, we'll have so much less financial stress and access to many more services for the kids. Things are already starting to feel less scary. My brother has come home to help me and is working remotely for the same job, which is ideal. He has been amazing, making it all happen so quickly and packing up his life to move back. He's still going back and forth at the moment, but should be here full-time soon, aside from a few days a month when he needs to be there in person. Our oldest sister has said she'll send some money every month to help us, but she doesn't want to be involved beyond that. I understand why and am very grateful for her help. Honestly, it hurts a bit that she refuses to talk about the kids or anything else, but she's doing what she can handle right now, I guess. Our other sister is working a rotational work schedule and has suggested coming back during her weeks off to help out. However, I'm not sure if that will actually happen or work well in practice. My brother doesn't get along with her very well and says living with her again wouldn't work. The kids are still struggling with the new rules, and we've had some issues. The 16-year-old hates me, so my brother is taking over with her because I'm tired of fighting with her. The others are doing better, but are still a challenge. The 7-year-old won't sleep, which is the hardest thing right now because then I can't sleep, and I'm exhausted. She has meltdowns when she's tired, and since she's always tired, she's always having meltdowns. I don't know what to do with her. Everything I try to help her sleep doesn't work very well. She says she doesn't know why she can't won't sleep, so I don't even know where to start. My brother tried to get her to bed, and she just cried and screamed for me. The 12-year-old is listening to our brother, which is the best thing ever because I was really worried about handling him since he never listens to me. The 13 and 9-year-olds are easier and not stressing me out too much, so we've kind of divided and conquered. My brother handles 2 of the kids, and I handle the other 3. I've realized I'm very protective of the younger ones and find it difficult to let my brother discipline them, so it causes fewer problems between us if I deal with them. It's still early days, but I'm hoping consistency will fix a lot of the smaller issues. Long term, we want to rent somewhere bigger because our grandma's house is very cramped, which is making things harder. This is long and messy, sorry. Just wanted to update everyone who asked, and thank you all again for the advice. Third update, 3 weeks later. Back with another update for those who asked. I can't believe it's been over 3 months now. We applied for kinship and have had provisional approval, the home inspection, and some interviews. We've got a couple more things to do that are still ongoing, and then we should be good. We got our first pay, which has been so helpful and really made me feel much more optimistic about everything because we'll be able to actually do something other than just survive. The case worker pretty much told me they don't want to find placements for this many kids, so us keeping them is their much preferred option, which is reassuring. My mom hasn't contacted me for a while. We thought she might show up on Easter because holidays are usually her time to cry about how much she misses our dad, and she generally prefers to ruin everyone's day with that. But she didn't come, thank God. Our grandma is still at our aunt's because she apparently can't stand to be around us. According to her, me trying to feed the kids good food and not letting a 7-year-old disappear for hours on bicycles with kids 3 or more years older than her is just me thinking I'm better than her. A lot of people suggested co-sleeping with the 7-year-old, so I've started doing that. It's helping a bit. She'll actually lie down, so that's a win, but she still cries a lot and tries to get up. She also holds on to me with a death grip, so I've kind of accepted that I have to go to bed when she does. It's not the worst thing ever because I've been looking things up and reading online while I lie with her when she eventually calms down. I've ordered melatonin to try. I share a room with the 16-year-old, and she doesn't want the 7-year-old in there, but it's tough. I can't do anything about it until we can move, which isn't going to be soon. It's not the most peaceful night with a 7-year-old in there, because she kicks me and wakes up at random times trying to chat or crying, but we're getting some sleep. She slept in my single bed with me from 4 months old until she was about 2. I clearly knew nothing about safe sleep back then, but my mom had sold the crib to annoy my dad, so she actually had nowhere else to sleep. I haven't told her that because I don't want to tell her her mom didn't care that she didn't have a bed, but she seems to remember. She said, "We used to have sleepovers in your bed a lot, didn't we?" And my heart broke. Also, I got the 16-year-old earplugs and told her she can sleep in the 7-year-old's bed in the other room if she prefers. I do my best to try to suit the 7-year-old in general. She had one of her crying breakdowns last week and said she didn't feel safe or happy. Then she said she wishes I was her real mommy. I told her I am her real mummy because I've looked after her whole life, and I won't ever leave her. She seems a bit happier since then. I'm going to get a photo of us for her to keep in her little purse she carries everywhere. She's pretty sentimental, so she'll like that. Yesterday, she asked me if me and our brother are married. Obviously, I said no, and she said, "I just feel like you are my mom and dad." I hope that's a good thing, even if it is a little weird. She's definitely bonding with him too. She always wants me to carry her around, and when I say no because I'm busy, he offers to do it, and she lets him now. She used to ignore him. Seeing her snuggle into his neck and actually relax is the cutest thing. It makes my heart happy because I remember wishing I had a dad who would hold me, and I'm so glad she's getting all the love. My brother and I have had a few disagreements over discipline. He's pretty strict, which is usually a good thing because the kids need it, to be honest, but sometimes I find it a bit much. The biggest disagreement was when he smacked the 9-year-old, and I lost it. We grew up with a lot worse, and I'm not going to lie, I've smacked them before, but I don't want to do that anymore. My brother thinks there's nothing wrong with one smack on the bum. I just rather we don't go there. He said he won't do it again, and I don't think he will. He wasn't angry when he did it, so I'm not really concerned about it, and he apologized to the 9-year-old. We're just still trying to figure out discipline. Our dad used an electric cord as a whip, so one smack on the bum is practically gentle parenting to us, but I've read enough to know we don't want to use any physical discipline. The worst thing I've had to do is give the youngest 2 suppositories. My sister gave me money to take them to the doctor because I was worried about them and couldn't find any free help and didn't want to wait for kinship. It turns out they're both malnourished, underweight, and severely constipated, and they've missed some vaccines. For the constipation, we tried medicine, more fiber, and more water, but no luck, so we had to use the suppositories because the doctor said it was verging on severe. I tried to explain it to them and make the whole thing easy, but it turned into quite the drama. The 9-year-old was easier, but it still took a while. The 7-year-old was impossible, and everyone got too stressed on day 1, so we left it. She was still not complying on day 2, so my brother had to get involved and pretty much hold her down. The doctor said either we do it or I take her in and they do it, so we had no choice really, and I still feel horrible about it. I'm obsessed with what they're eating now because I don't want anyone going through that again. But I will say they're a lot better since they aren't getting tummy aches and they aren't so grouchy. It's also helped the 7-year-old sleep for sure. We're getting the other 3 to the doctor next week. We'll do telehealth after that, but I want them to see someone in person for the first appointment. Next on the list is the dentist. We've looked into therapy and should be getting telehealth sessions soon. So far, all 3 teenagers have said they're not doing therapy, but I'll try to make them at least give it a shot. The 16-year-old is still difficult. She took my ID and was going out whenever she liked, but my brother grounded her, and she's actually listened and not tried to sneak out. The other 3 are doing okay, no big issues with them to be honest. They're adapting pretty well, I think. I try to talk to them all about everything when I can, and they all seem to understand what's going on. They trust that we won't be going anywhere, and we just need them to cooperate with us so we can get through this. My little brother, Liam 12, is obsessed with our older brother, Matt. I used to have an issue with Liam going out every evening for hours, and I was so stressed trying to keep him home and safe. But Matt being here has basically eliminated the issue. Liam just wants to be around him all the time, and Matt has somehow got this kid thinking doing homework with him is the best thing ever. Sorry this is so long again. I don't know how long I'll keep doing these updates, but for now, everyone has been so incredibly helpful that I'll carry on posting because I always need more advice. The advice and support from everyone in the comments and PMs have been amazing and have actually helped change our day-to-day life for the better. So thank you so much, internet strangers. 4th update, 10 days later. My previous posts explain everything, but the short version is our mom left right before Christmas, and I'm now looking after my 5 younger siblings. The 16-year-old has been a pain in the rear the whole time. So unhelpful, permanently grumpy, arguing about everything, and winding the younger ones just to be annoying. Basically, she's making my life harder every chance she gets. She got her phone confiscated today because she was videoing our little sister having an emotional meltdown and laughing at her. Later on, while I was putting the phone away, I saw a message from our mom pop up saying some horrible stuff. My mom hasn't messaged me in weeks, and the 16-year-old hasn't mentioned messaging her at all, so I was like, WTF. It took me a few attempts to get into her phone, but I got in and saw so many messages. Mostly, they were her begging our mom to come home, and our mom either ignoring her or telling her to come to Orlando she's in right now. The 16-year-old sent her so many messages saying our younger siblings need her, and our mom replied saying, I think I know how to raise them better, so she's leaving me to it since I don't want her here. The most recent one was the 16-year-old asking why she doesn't care about us, and our mom basically said, she has better things to do than sit here and listen to us all tell her everything she's doing wrong all the time. I knew she was having a hard time, but reading her messages to our mom has broken me, and I just want to stop her from hurting so much. She basically hates me right now, so comforting her is very hard because she will not open up even a bit, and whenever I speak to her about it, she acts like she doesn't care. I don't know what to do or say to her. Meanwhile, my older sister just calls me periodically to tell me she wishes she could help, but can't because of a list of reasons, including but not limited to her not being able to face being around our youngest sister because our parents said she was her replacement, and big sis can't get over it. Which is like okay, but baby sis just turned 7, and big sis is almost 25. So at some point she needs to try to get past that and realize it's not the little one's fault. And big sis is struggling because she feels like I'm her kid, apparently, and she wanted me to come live with her when I was younger. But I chose to stay here and let my mom get away with not parenting. But the alternative was my siblings being neglected and abused like we were anyway. For real, I don't have time to be dealing with her emotional issues on top of everyone else's, and she's whining to me like, oh, I had to take time off work because I'm having a hard time mentally, which makes me feel so great when I'm working my tail off to feed 5 kids, dealing with a million behavioral issues a day, and don't have time to do anything before everyone starts shouting therapy. Yeah, it's in the works. I'm trying to get telehealth arranged, but it's taking forever. We can't afford anything else, so that's the best we have for now. Until then, it's good old-fashioned, just get on with it, and try not to screw the kids up any more than they already are. Fifth update, 1 month, 1 week later. Another update because my inbox is still flooded, and I can't reply to everyone. I'll just say it all here for you guys, and anyone else who wants to know. It's been like 5 months now, Jesus freaking Christ. Firstly, thank you for all the nice messages and offers of help and support. I really do appreciate it, and I'm sorry if I haven't replied. I've literally had hundreds of messages, and it's kind of overwhelming. I've read most of them, and I'm still trying to reply to more, but it's a big job. Currently, things are going okay. Here are the big things that have happened or happening. My older sister, the second oldest, is coming to visit soon. The relationship between her and my older brother is kind of strained because of some stuff that happened when they were younger, back when the 3 older ones all lived together for a bit after leaving home. Honestly, I think it was just a mess having 3 damaged teenagers living together in a new place with no support. I don't have time to be the mediator, though, so I just told them that if they can't get along, my sister will need to leave because the kids don't need any more drama, and my brother needs to focus on being a parent. She's coming because she wants to, and she said she won't cause any drama, she just wants to help. We'll see how it goes, but I'm low-key dreading it. The last time I saw this sister was years ago, so I'm trying not to assume she'll be the same as she was when she was a teenager. We've started planning to move to Washington. My brother is desperate to get out of our town, Fairview, and not have to worry about our parents showing up. He gets a lot of anxiety about it and doesn't like me being at home without him there. His job will help him move over there, and he's been set on it for a while now. We'll be able to transfer even with the kids being on kinship care, which was basically my only concern. Now that it's confirmed we'll be fine to do it, I'm on board. It won't be anytime soon, but hopefully we can move by the end of the year. Financially, we're doing pretty well. We have the kinship money, both mine and my brother's wages, and my older sisters have been sending money consistently. My brother is good with money, and we've been able to save some. I was able to buy the kids a small present each to cheer them up on Mother's Day. They have barely any toys, so the little ones were psyched to have some things to play with and have been being feral outdoors way less this week. They've been playing with Lego and Barbies, like normal children. The 7-year-old sleeps so well when I give her melatonin. I don't do it every night, but when I do, it's like a mini holiday. She sometimes wakes up mad, but I can deal with that when I've actually had some sleep. On the nights she doesn't have it, I either keep her downstairs and hope she'll fall asleep on me or my brother while watching TV, or I go through the emotional bedtime routine of her crying and saying she doesn't want to go to bed while I read the same 3 stories until she chills out. She's doing better at school again now. It was pretty bad for a while, obviously because she was permanently exhausted and surviving on literal air only, as the kid wouldn't sleep or eat right. Now the 9 and 13-year-olds are doing telehealth therapy sessions. The 7-year-old won't speak to the therapist, so she's having indirect help through me. The 12-year-old hates it, so my brother is trying to learn techniques to use with him to help. The 16-year-old refuses therapy, which I expected anyway. I tried to force her to do it, and that didn't go well, so again, I just tried to give her indirect help. I had some one-on-one time with her recently, and she was different in a good way. She lets her guard down when the younger kids aren't around, like she can be vulnerable or whatever. She said, "Thank you for looking after us," to me on Mother's Day. I haven't seen any more messages on the 16-year-old's phone from our mom. She has completely stopped messaging any of us. The last thing she said to me was that she doesn't know why I'm turning her kids against her. Kind of hilarious, to be honest. But it just proves she's deep into Lulu land. On Mother's Day, the 7-year-old went outside 4 times before 8:00 a.m. to make sure Mom isn't coming down the road, and she's been crying about our dad. I'm not sure why exactly. When I ask, she just says she's worried about him. The 9-year-old gets annoyed with her and tells her to stop crying because our dad is a bad person. She's also very defensive of me and my brother and tries to police all the other kids, telling them to behave, be nice to us, and not argue backchat misbehave. I think she's worried we'll get fed up and leave. Of course, I reassure her that we won't, and that she doesn't need to tell the others off. It's kind of funny though, because she's no angel herself. Their diet is a lot better. We still have issues every meal of every day, but overall, it's better, and they're doing well with trying new things. Years of ramen and chicken nuggets have obviously been horrible for our bodies, but they all have at least one fruit or vegetable a day and proper dinners. They like pasta bake, so that's the new ramen around here. My brother cooks curry and tries to get them to eat it, but that doesn't go down so well. They like it when he makes chicken and potatoes. The 7-year-old loves blue white pouches of vanilla custard and would eat those for every meal if I let her. My oldest sister is still a pain in the rear and wants to talk about our trauma all the time. She has more time to dwell on it than I do. I have no time to dwell. I asked her to please not message me unless it's positive or helpful. Her reply showed she's really just jealous that I'm giving all my time and energy to the kids, but I don't have it in me to look after an adult's emotional needs as well. She sees me as her kid and wants to see me, but doesn't want to see the younger ones. She even asked me to visit and leave them with my brother for a few days. I'm not going to leave insecure kids who are permanently stressed that I'll leave for good. Imagine how stressed they'd be the whole time. She also thinks I'm spoiling them, but I'm just treating them like children. It's mostly just annoying that she's like this, but it's also partly upsetting, to be honest. There's nothing I'd love more than for her to meet and love the 7-year-old. For me, it would feel like my mom meeting my child because my oldest sister raised me when I was really young, and the 7-year-old is the only one of the kids I've fully raised since she was a tiny baby when my mom told me she didn't want her anyway. I'm trying not to get too caught up in everything with my older sister because I already have enough going on with all the kids. My grandma is still at my aunt's house and very unhelpful, but she's not bothering me much, so that's ideal. She mentioned wanting my cousin to move in here because he got kicked out by his girlfriend and has nowhere to live, but screw that for real. He's a creep and a substance addict, so no way is that happening over my dead body. Okay, this has taken me like 3 days to finish writing, and I've probably forgotten some stuff, but I really just wanted to say thanks for the support. I'm not ignoring my messages, I'm just busy and overwhelmed. Sixth update, 9 days later. My sister, the second oldest, is here visiting. She's 23 and has been here for a few days now. When she first got here, I arranged for her to arrive in the evening after the younger kids went to bed because I thought it would be a bit much, and I knew she would be emotional. She was shaking when she arrived, so it was definitely the right call because the little kids would have been freaked out. The first evening I thought, hell, this is not going to be good, because she was a serious wreck and wasn't sure she could stay, but then she slept on it and woke up feeling much better and wasn't too emotional, except when meeting the younger ones since she hadn't seen them in so many years. Since then, things have been good. Honestly, it's been better than I thought, and I feel kind of bad for dreading it so much. She's obviously different from her teenage self. She's never been really maternal or anything, and in my head, that was a bad thing, but it's actually good because she's hanging out with the kids as a sister, not as a third parent figure. The 16-year-old is very similar in personality to her, so she's enjoyed having her here and having an adult to talk to who isn't me or Matt. The 13-year-old has been clingy AF recently, and having my sister here means she has clung to her instead of me all the time. The 12-year-old is not impressed about having another girl in the house and says she stinks of perfume, yeah. The 9-year-old wants to know why she's here, when she's leaving, and if she's going to visit again. But when she isn't worrying, she's having fun getting my sister to do different hairstyles for her. The 7-year-old only has eyes for me and is totally psyched when all the others are hanging out with my sister so she can have me to herself. She even asked my sister to let her out of timeout and was best buddies with her for 10 minutes until she got over being annoyed with me. I've had some time alone with my sister, which has been nice to properly talk to her, get her opinion on some things, and have her clear up what happened with my dad. She definitely still has a lot of issues, but she's doing well for herself and seems pretty happy. She's not spiraling like our oldest sister. She pretty much said the oldest has a lot of guilt issues about leaving and was expecting me to move in with her at 16. She's struggling with the fact that I didn't and doesn't understand how I was able to stay when she couldn't. It was pretty sad to hear, to be honest, and I'll definitely talk to my oldest sister again and try to help her, but I don't want to get sucked into being her therapist. Matt has gotten along with her fine, but they're not besties still. They seem to have put their issues aside and can handle being around each other, which they definitely couldn't do a couple of years back. I'm not entirely sure why, but it seems like Matt and the oldest sister had guilt issues, and my other sister didn't. She's always been self-centered, but honestly, that might be a good thing for her own sake. They had a lot of arguments about what they should or shouldn't have been doing when they left. I think essentially the middle sister was having too much fun and enjoying her life too much for the other two to handle because they didn't think she cared about the rest of us, which honestly she probably didn't, but that's good for her, I guess. Anyway, she's staying for the week, and it's going pretty well. Other things, my grandma is still winding me TF up all the time. She whines at me daily about wanting my cousin to come live here and threatens to kick us out constantly, even though she told our caseworker we could live here as long as we need. I try not to waste my energy getting pissed off at her because my patience is running thin as it is. But Jesus freaking Christ, she's so annoying. She gets so angry because she's offended that I told her she's a crap parent and grandparent. My mom may have found my dad. I suspect this because she's been messaging me demanding photos of my 12-year-old brother. Chances are she just wants to show my dad that he looks like him. She only gives a damn about her kids when she's trying to use them to make our dad love her. I told her to go screw herself because I'm not sending her any photos. Like, get a grip. If you don't already have photos of your own child on your phone, that's your problem. She's been a B*TCH to him his entire life anyway. If dad leaves soon after you're born or while she's still pregnant with you, you're in her bad books for life. 22, me 16. 12 and 7 were all in the bad books before we could even hold our own heads up. The oldest two are in the bad books for not staying quiet about him abusing them and letting it continue so my mom could live her dream of having my dad at home. Also, I should mention my dad has other kids. I don't know how many, I've never met them, but he's mentioned them before. I thought they might have been made up, but my sister said one of them contacted her ages ago, so they definitely exist. The 7-year-old has started calling me mommy. I have mixed feelings about it. I feel bad that this little kid has to resort to calling a 20-year-old mess mummy. It's made it feel a lot more real, like, damn, I really am all these kids have at this point. I know my mom will never sort herself out, but deep down, I guess I felt like I was just the temporary guardian. Now I fully realized no one is coming to take over at any point. I knew that, but I don't think it had fully clicked until a few days ago when the teeny monster started calling me mommy. I'm happy she has someone to call that though. She wouldn't have that in foster care, so that makes me feel better. It would be really freaking sad if she had no one to call mommy at 7 years old. The 9-year-old has been a bit upset about it though. I think she wants to call me that as well, but it feels uncomfortable for her. She keeps crying, saying she wants me to be her mom too, but that I'm not her mom, and she doesn't know what to do. Of course, I've told her she can call me whatever she wants, and it won't change the fact that I'll look after her and be there for her either way. I'm kind of worried the 7-year-old is going to start calling Matt dad because she's deep in her, wanting a dad era, and is desperate for one. She talks about it a lot, asks about having a dad daily, and it triggers the other kids who hate our dad, so I don't know if it will go down well if she starts calling my brother dad. It would be weird for her to refer to us both like that when we're siblings, but I also don't want to tell her she can't. She hasn't done it yet, but I can see her edging toward it. She even asked me if I was going to marry Matt so he could be her dad, and he is so good with her. I heard him singing to her the other night, so of course she's in love with him. The 16-year-old. I found it easier if Matt does all the tough parenting stuff and I act like I'm on her side. Of course, he knows I'm not really, but she doesn't want me parenting her. Instead of forcing it, I'm trying to just be more of a sibling and he's the bad guy. It doesn't work perfectly, and I still get pissed off at her, but mostly only when she interferes with me parenting the other four. For example, the 7-year-old has her lovies, old muslin cloths that she's very attached to, and the 16-year-old confiscated one and wouldn't give it back. I had to force her to return it by threatening to take her phone. Stuff like that I handle, but most other issues I leave to Matt. He's less bothered by the psychological BS with her. He just gets annoyed when I have an attitude with him, and she overhears and copies me. It's been a lot of trial and error figuring out how to deal with everyone. The 13-year-old is my shadow and doesn't react well to Matt disciplining her, but is fine if I do it. The 12-year-old is one extreme or the other. He'll tell me to screw off, but cry if Matt tells him off. He listens to me better now, but only if I grab him and make him look at me while I speak, because he's the master of tuning me out. He cuddles me when no one else is around, though, and if Matt disciplines him, he comes to me crying. The 9-year-old is a perfect angel, until she isn't and decides to have a 30-minute battle with us, because she doesn't want to brush her teeth for no reason. She kind of reminds me of myself as a kid, trying to keep it all together all the time, but feeling safe enough to have meltdowns. She's pretty easy overall because she's reasonable, but sometimes she goes full demon and tests our patience. To everyone messaging me saying the 7-year-old sounds autistic, she's not. I've discussed it with the doctor and the therapist. She has anxiety and abandonment issues and is very stressed in general, which is why she can't let herself lose control and fall asleep. But she wasn't like this at all before my mom left. She used to sleep fine. All of them struggle with food because they've been eating ramen their whole lives, but it's harder to get the 7-year-old to eat better. I can explain to the older ones that they need the nutrition, and they'll at least try to eat more, but the 7-year-old doesn't give a crap about nutrition. She's crazy attached to me because she thinks I'll leave. Obviously, she has tabs on me constantly, but in theory, that should all pass with time and reassurance. Matt has been really good about not being like our parents were with us. He walks away when he gets pissed off because he doesn't want to react badly to the kids. He hasn't smacked anyone since our big argument about it, which, to be honest, is impressive considering how it was for us as kids. He literally has scars from my dad's beatings, and my mom broke multiple bones on a few of us, so trying not to be physical at all when that's what you're used to is hard, but we're doing it. I'm chilling out a bit now and letting him actually parent instead of intervening all the time. A while ago, we had a terrible night with the 7-year-old. She was still screaming at about 2:00 a.m. Matt came to take her off me because I was about to lose it, and as he picked her up, she was flipping out and accidentally headbutted him full in the face. I basically went blind with panic and grabbed her off him so fast because if that had been my dad, he literally would have thrown her across the room, and she'd be in the hospital. But Matt just sat on the floor silently and held his nose for a while. I was like, okay, WTF. He didn't even seem pissed off. A couple more situations like that have made me less crazy in protection mode, and I feel like I can trust him. Anyway, this is way longer than I planned yet again. Can't stop writing once I start, even though these updates take me days. 7th update, 1 month, 3 weeks later. Another update, since it's been like 2 months since the last one. The 16-year-old is still up and down. Sometimes she's so nice and easy to be around, and other times I'm like, what the hell is going on in her head? Like she had been really good about asking if she could go out and telling us who she was with, where she was going, and what she was doing, which was such progress. Then a couple of weeks ago, I went to check on one of the other kids at like 1:00 a.m., and the 16-year-old wasn't in bed or anywhere else in the house. I called her 10 times, and she had gone out. Her excuse was that we were all already in bed when she was invited, so she couldn't ask. That's BS anyway, because she knows I wasn't asleep. I was lying with the 7-year-old and had my phone with me, so she could have texted. Just stupid crap like that where I'm like, I just need to know where you are, especially at night. And she loves to argue with me about disciplining the younger ones, which is hilariously ironic because she thinks she can do whatever she wants, and I'm evil if I tell her no. But then she tells me I'm a soft pushover when the little kids are doing something they shouldn't. The 9-year-old has been terrorizing the 7-year-old, and I'm trying to deal with it, based on advice from the therapist and stuff I've read. The 16-year-old likes to get involved and give the 9-year-old a taste of her own medicine, which basically means she slaps her back. That doesn't help with my whole aim of everyone keeping their hands to themselves. I can see why the 16-year-old does it because I have to fight the urge to do the whole, you hurt her, I'll hurt you, thing with the 9-year-old since that's how my parents were when they could be bothered to actually parent. Anyway, now I spend half my time trying to keep the 9 and 7-year-olds apart, and the other half arguing with the 16-year-old about discipline. The worst thing the 9-year-old has done was hit the 7-year-old on the head with a metal water bottle, and that lost his crap as much as you can with a kid that age. She's been better since, but still not nice. Basically, she's frustrated with the 7-year-old because she won't play or anything at the moment. They used to be best friends and play all day long. And now the 9-year-old is trying to discipline the 7-year-old because she doesn't like it when she has meltdowns or talks about our dad. The 7-year-old is my shadow, and because she doesn't sleep well, she's always tired and grumpy. Not much fun for the 9-year-old to be around, so she gets angry with her. I was trying to push the 7-year-old to play, but that always ended in tears because she would just sit there and not join in whatever game the 9-year-old wanted to play. Then the 9-year-old would get mad and lash out. So now I'm just letting the 7-year-old be. If she's happy being my shadow, then okay. For context, she's so attached to me that when she wasn't in the same room as me for like 10 minutes recently, and I knew Matt didn't have her, I got a bit concerned about where she was. I found her sitting on the 12-year-old's lap while he played a video game with his friend. The fact that she was interested in something other than me or Matt was like, whoa, and I literally almost cried. With the 9-year-old, we're trying to give her more one-on-one time because she likes that and definitely needs it, but it's difficult to work around everything else. Matt has more time to spend with her, but she mostly wants me. I can usually get like 20 minutes with her in the evening, but that's it. Obviously, I see her more than that, but with the other kids there and the 7-year-old being needy as hell, it's not really quality time. The 13 and 12-year-olds are basically the same, pretty easy compared to the other three. The 13-year-old has her moments of copying the 16-year-old and being a huge pain in my rear, but mostly she's good. A bit of attitude is breezy like, give me the best you've got, I don't care, as long as she's not jumping out of her bedroom window and running around in the middle of the night. We have had an issue because she wanted to sleep over at her friend's house, and I said no because the dad is so sus. She was really mad at me, but she got over it. The 12-year-old just wants his big brother's approval, so he's been good. He hasn't told me to go screw myself in ages, lol, because Matt is literally the respect police, and won't let him get away with the crap he used to say to me. Matt is sorting out all the moving stuff. We're hoping to make it happen by the end of the year, hopefully. I'm not really involved because I'm too busy, and he knows more about it since he's done all the research. I told him to figure out work, a house and schools, and then just fill me in. I reduced my hours at work because it was too much, and things have been easier since. Our sister, the second oldest, is saying she might move with us because she wants to help out. It would be amazing to have 3 adults in the house, but we'll have to see if that will actually work. That's kind of it, nothing else really happening. I haven't heard from my mom, and my grandma is still living with our aunt. My oldest sister still sends money, and we talk a bit, but I told her straight that I can't deal with constant trauma talk right now. Edit, everyone is messaging me about the 7-year-old's muslin cloths. Just going to say, I can't mess with the cloths. They're her Lovies, and they all have names and personalities in her head. They're dolls, not rags. She makes them play together speak, and they have faces drawn on them, so if I wash them, I'm drowning them. If I stuff them inside a teddy, I'm suffocating them, and if I stitch them together, I'm stabbing them. You get the picture. Imagine them as her literal babies, and you'll appreciate how limited I am in what I can do with them, lol. So my aim is to get her to switch her focus onto something else. But it's hard when the rags have been the only toys she's really had her whole life. And honestly, her being obsessed with 5 rags is kind of the least of my worries. Having to find missing rags all the time isn't the most fun thing ever, but it's not a huge problem for me. Eighth update, 2 months later. My mom had another baby, another girl. I don't know why it shocked me so much, because I literally think through this exact scenario in my head every day, but it still hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was on the edge of losing my mind for a couple of days. I don't know why. I think it's a mixture of knowing that either way this goes, it's going to mess me up, and also just general anger at my mom for how irresponsible she is. If we take her, I'm raising a whole newborn from scratch again, and if we don't take her, I'll torture myself for the rest of my life wondering if she's okay and feeling guilty. At first, we were going to just say no, we can't take her, and have her go straight to foster care or adoption. But she's in hospital with meningitis, so after days of stressing out and talking about everything, I'm traveling down right now to be with her because I can't deal with her being alone, and I was going crazy. Information has been really patchy, but last I heard, they think my mom would have gotten pregnant in late January because the baby is premature. I suspected when she left at Christmas that she had found out where our dad was, so she must have been with him for I don't know how long. I doubt she's still with him, because she usually plays happy families with the new baby if my dad is still there when it's born. My mom carries Group B strep, so it's not the first time she's had a newborn with serious issues from that. We don't even know what day the baby was born. I'm so mad at her that she didn't tell me she was pregnant or come home to have a baby. I would have made sure she got medical care and that she would be okay. I'll know more when I get there, but it sounds like my mom didn't have her in a hospital, which again wouldn't be the first time she's done that. I've had to just leave Matt with the kids and hope things will be okay. He says he's got it, but I don't know, and obviously me leaving didn't go down well with the 7-year-old. The 16-year-old is like a new person since we found out, and is suddenly the most helpful person ever. Now that I've gone, she keeps messaging me that things are fine at home and that she wants to bring the baby home with me. She's the only kid who even knows about the baby. The others think I'm helping our sister with something. I just don't know what to do. Imagining letting her go live with strangers sends me into literal blind panic. I've been in foster care, and it was horrible. I know it's different for babies, but how can I risk her going to live with people who might not love her? I know I will love her, and she will be okay with us, but the other part of me is like, can I realistically have another kid at home? And what if she gets adopted by amazing people and has an incredible life? I don't know what to do. The caseworker is saying that staying with family is a priority and that it would most likely be possible for us to have her if we want her. But I don't want to say, yeah, I want her, have all this stuff happen, and then take her home and realize, oh my God, I can't do this. A baby is a lot, and it's a lot different from school-aged kids, but I have done it before, and I was like 13 last time I was doing night feeds, so surely at 20 I can do it. The 7-year-old is finally mostly sleeping in her own bed, and I've actually been sleeping at last. But I feel like an idiot if I say, yeah, give this human child away just so I can get a bit more sleep. That's just crazy. Matt is saying we could bring her home and see how it goes as a temporary thing, but I don't want to just say, yeah, okay, let's bring her home, like she's a pet cat or fish. I want to be certain that it's the right choice. I will get so attached, and so will she, and that's not fair because if it turns out it's impossible to have this many kids, then what the hell do we do? I mean, I guess nothing is impossible. I just hate the thought of giving her to random people. I know that through the years, all of us will be together, and my head will constantly be like, how's the baby? Where's the baby right now? What if she's lonely? What if no one loves her? What if she has no one to play with? Maybe she's hungry. I'll be torturing myself forever. I don't know how people give a kid away. She's not even my kid, and I'm like, no, you're part of me, I need to keep you with me. But what if I can't? Financially, it will be okay because we get decent money for kinship, and between us, we can make enough money to be okay. When we move before Christmas, hopefully, there will be 3 adults in the house because our older sister is moving with us, plus the 16-year-old will be 17 by then. By the end of February, all the kids will have had their birthdays, so they'll be 14, 13, 10, and 8, just getting more independent, and then bam, newborn. I don't know what to do. My oldest sister is like, screw this, you need to get her adopted. Everyone else wants to try to keep her. I just want a crystal ball so I can see how things turn out either way, and then decide, because the thought of regretting this choice for the rest of my life is really stressing me out. Not really looking for advice, to be honest, because I don't want the life of a literal baby being decided by Reddit. That just seems messed up. I want it to be the right choice for us, one we've made with the caseworkers. I'm just rambling because it's an 8-hour journey, and I need to stop spamming Matt and my sisters with my constant thoughts. But yeah, for everyone who was messaging me like, your mom will have another one, you called it, I guess. Ninth update, 1 week later. Short update as I don't have much time, but everyone is messaging me today asking what's happening. The baby is doing really well. The past week has been up and down, and we still have a few issues at the moment, but there's a really good chance she will be totally fine. She looks like an alien, and she has a cannula in her tiny head, but she's okay, according to literally every nurse and doctor I keep harassing about her because honestly, if you look at her, you think, this baby is not well. They're like, no, she's doing great. But yeah, if she wasn't brought to the hospital when she would be dead. They still haven't found my mom, no idea where she is, but most likely, she left Orlando. Maybe she actually realizes she messed up this time. You can't leave your newborn with random addicts. We are getting temporary custody, and hopefully bringing her straight home when she gets discharged if everything is sorted by then. We need to actually see if we can manage it before we make a solid decision, so it makes sense to do it this way, and the caseworker is fully on board. I'm worried about everyone getting attached and then it not working out, but after talking about it all week, we think it's better to try and fail than not try and always wonder what if. I had to tell the kids about her, obviously, and they're all like, this is the best thing ever, and excited, but I don't know. I think they think she'll be a quiet, adorable doll. The little girls think they get to name her, so it's all fun for them. She won't be called Calypso or Lilo or Rapunzel though, and she definitely isn't quiet, so I don't know if the excitement will last long once we get home. We'll see. I'm anxious to just get home and have an actual conversation with Matt and my sister because right now, it feels like they're like, yeah, we can keep her. But I'm the only one thinking about things long term, like the actual logistics of having an infant. 10th update, 1 month, 2 weeks later. Never know how to start these, lol. Hi, I know people want to know about the baby, so here's an update. She's doing good. We finally got her home. It was a mission for real, and the weirdest combo of stress and relief when we finally did it. As far as babies go, she's on the easier side, I would say. At the moment, she sleeps a ton, and I literally have to wake her up to feed her. Even then, she falls asleep halfway through a bottle. My life legit revolves around bottles. Cleaning bottles, sterilizing bottles, making bottles, logging how much she drank, tracking how long until the bottles expire, getting confused about which bottle is which, and remaking them because I'm paranoid I'm going to give her an expired one. It never ends. It's so funny that there's that whole debate about how bottle feeding is lazy or whatever, and the easy way out. I swear I wish I gave birth to this kid, so I could just feed her for myself and be done with it. Dealing with bottles is so time-consuming, but not going to lie, the baby herself isn't a huge deal. It's the addition of the baby to the existing chaos that's kind of messed up, because they all have such different needs already. Like I thought the 7 to 13 gap was huge and a pain in the rear to keep everyone happy, but now it's like, let's entertain you all and remember the feeding schedule of an infant. On the upside, I don't have to do many nappy changes at the moment, because all the kids want to help with the baby all the time. As soon as I say she needs to be changed, they're all fighting over whose turn it is, which is hilarious, and I hope it lasts. Don't want to talk about my mom, to be honest, except to say the baby is a full sibling, so she is my dad's. I knew she was anyway, but we got DNA done to confirm as people have asked. I had a convo with my mom that I honestly want to delete because it was so bad, but I can't. So yeah, hoping she just gets locked up at this point. I'm so effing done, but it doesn't seem like any effort is being made to actually find her. It's like they don't care. Sounds like they'll do something if she walks into the station like, hey, arrest me. Obviously, I'm sleep deprived, which is actually more from the 7-year-old than the baby, and stressed out. But I was already both of those things before, so to be honest, it doesn't feel crazy different right now. I'm just more sleep deprived and more stressed, but like, okay, what else is new? I just have a tiny baby monkey, asleep somewhere near me at all times. The kids are doing well. We've had a couple of jealousy issues with the younger ones, but mostly they've been really great, not expecting that. Once the novelty of the baby wears off, the 7-year-old is up and down on how happy she is about sharing me. But it hasn't been too bad because there are enough people around that someone can usually hold a baby, so I can focus on the 7-year-old, the 9-year-old, or whoever. I've given up trying to get them to be quiet around the baby because they won't. And so far, she sleeps through everything anyway. The 17-year-old, she had her birthday. The first birthday we've properly celebrated like ever, has been literally amazing. I'm like, who are you? Compared to the total pain in my rear she was before. She's been so good. She helps me out a lot, even though I tell her she doesn't have to. I won't go into it all here because it's her private business, not mine to share, but she's had some huge breakthroughs with therapy and seems like since the baby, she's realized our mom is beyond effed. She's shifted her anger off me and onto her. She's fully in protective mode over the baby, which is crazy for me to see because she normally couldn't give a crap about the younger kids. Not saying everything is perfect there. We still have some issues, but she is so helpful at the moment and just like thoughtful. I don't know, it's nice. I think maybe we'll end up being friends. My oldest sister, not so much. She's pissed me off because she's so against me taking the baby and has been going on rants about me being an enabler and how I need more therapy because I can't keep cleaning up our mom's mess. Like, okay, firstly, I guess she hasn't noticed that our mom couldn't care less. If she wants to have 10 more babies, she will, whether I take this one or give her away. I could send the baby to outer space, and my mom still wouldn't care. She'd just have another one if she thought it would get my dad's attention. And yeah, I'm not here for her calling the baby it, and acting like I should give her away like she's an unwanted toy or whatever. So I'm not speaking to her at the moment. It makes me upset because I love her, but I can't mentally deal with her right now if she's going to be like that. I had to name the baby, so I called her the name I've always wanted to give my own kid because who knows if I'll have one. I thought it would help me bond with her because I have an emotional attachment to that name. I've loved it forever, but I can't stop calling her the baby because she doesn't suit having an actual name yet lol. She's just too little, I guess. I'm trying to ease into calling her name using a nickname, but I legit sit there in the middle of the night talking to her and trying to call her name and just end up being like, nope, you're just a baby rambling again. So I'll wrap it up because I don't know who has time to read this, but we're all set to move as well. A bit later than planned, but whatever. Matt flew over for a few days to sort out the house, and my older sister is going to go over a week before we move to get everything fully ready, which is definitely needed now that we have the baby. She's complicated things a lot, but we're figuring it out. It's costing a crap ton to move, but once it's done, I think everything will be so much better. No dealing with our grandma. It'll be less cramped, and my sister will be living with us, so we'll have 3 adults and the new and improved version of the 17-year-old. That means it'll be 3.5 against 2 teenagers, 2 kids, and a newborn, which isn't so awful. Wait for me to take that back, but I hope it will all be okay and feel easier. Plus, our parents won't know where we are. So Matt will finally chill out and stop having daily heart attacks about the kids being here, there, and everywhere around Fairview, or me being home alone or whatever. That's all I can be bothered to write again. I've written this in 3 different sittings this week, so if it doesn't make sense, please excuse my tired, rambling brain. LOL.